Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Snort, snort, snort.
Kogan. Drip.
Snort, snort.
I got the drip.
Bro, Phil,
Hmm?
how the fuck did you not know the camera was on? You know what I'm talking
Well,
about.
I wasn't going to talk about this, but I mean,
dude, what the fuck, man? I mean, come
Dude,
on.
Sadly, when it happened, I tried to
What the
spin
fuck?
it. I tried to spin it in a very positive light, and I rolled with it. It's one of the rare times where I learned in my life you roll with it and it'll go away. It never went away, but at least people, you know, it's just something funny now, right? Imagine if I had reacted to that the same way I reacted to "This Is How You Don't Play." Like, that would have been the end for me. Like, if this guy, what's he gonna say? He didn't do it or whatever? Of course, yeah, it happened. It's something stupid. But the truthful story, sadly, is not happy. Okay. Here's the truth. I've told it before, but never in this context. So in 2016, it was probably the second worst year of my life. Everything was falling apart in my personal life. I moved out here to Washington. I used to live in Connecticut my whole life. I moved to Washington in 2014 with my then girlfriend. Our relationship was great. Over the course of 2 years of systematic harassment on the internet, being swatted, doxxed, all this stuff, her family members being harassed, my family members being harassed, our whole relationship fell apart. Okay? In 2016, I was living with her, and we had two separate lives. It was like two roommates rather than a romantic relationship. It was messed up. Like, we're supposed to be together, and we're really not. It got to the point where she went off and had her own life. She had her own friends, her own job. I was doing my thing. Where no one knew this. Everyone thought everything was fine. We pretended, we smiled, whatever. No one knew that. I was depressed. I was really messed up in the head at that point. The way that I saw it was, this room was the only place in the house where she never went. She never came in here. Okay? So this room was like my safe space. I know that sounds stupid, but it was like, this is the one place I can be away from that. And I can have my own safe place. And in particular, I couldn't tell you the specific day when it happened, but I guarantee you it was something awful had happened, an argument, a fight, whatever it was. And I came in here, and back then, I was very different. Today I'm professional. I have layouts blocking the screen and everything. Back then I just had, you know, my
You got
dashboard.
like a couch in the corner that you
Exactly.
can go do that now.
Yeah. So I had the camera had been left on from the day before. Back then, I didn't do face cam like I do today. Today, this is a common thing to have the face cam on every single stream. Back then, it was a rarity. I only did it for like FromSoft games where I was going to get really upset. People like to see me rage on camera, right? So that, again, that meant that dark side Phil character. I left it on. And so I come in here and I'm feeling like shit. I feel awful, like probably depressed, awful thing. And I you know, I beat one off to relieve myself before a stream. And then it's all over the internet. And I'm like, oh, the camera was on, huh?
So it was depression.
Oops. It was part of
Essentially.
it. It was definitely part of it. Like, obviously, you don't sit down in front of a, you know, why would you even do that? I mean, what an idiot to do that, even in a situation. But it was probably something so horrible, you know, another argument. There's many of those.
So you said the camera was on, and then you started the stream and then did that, or like you were prepping for a stream, but the camera was on, so it just happened.
Yes. So basically,
I
turned
have a
on
question. I'm
yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to walk my through. Okay. What was the lead time between starting the stream and completion? Because that's pretty fucking impressive. I'm just kidding.
Not long, man. It was, you know, I would turn on the stream. I call it the pre-stream roll or whatever. So you had
No,
to
I don't-
message.
I really don't care. I really don't care. I really don't care.
The pre-stream.
The
roll.
pre-stream roll. The whole
Oh my
routine.
god!
Oh Lord! All right.
So it's
that's
a normal
awesome.
thing.
No, it's not. Obviously, no. It wasn't.
You've got a name for it, Phil. You got a name for it.
The time that I turn on the stream to let people come into the stream.
Oh, thank
is called
God.
the pre-stream.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
That's not a
'cause-
routine I do every day. No.
I mean, it'd be a hell of a pre-show. I'm just saying. Like,
So here's
you
the
could
thing,
probably,
here's the-
hey, you could monetize, as our friends from Geeks and Gamers say, you could monetize the haters. You could start a wicked OnlyFans, Phil. I'm just saying, a wicked OnlyFans.
Oh,
And
jeez.
here's the narrative. Here's the truth of the matter. First of all, it took place on YouTube, not on Twitch. All right. There was maybe 20, 30 people there when it happened because I just turned the stream on. Right. And it was right, you know, laptop in front of me or whatever, cameras on. So embarrassing. But what's the narrative now? Darkside Phil masturbated in front of thousands of people, including small children, on the internet, live on Twitch, and didn't get banned for it. When did that happen?
Well,
It was-
CNN rehired Tubin after he jerked it in a friggin' Zoom meeting. So, I
Right.
mean, things can happen, dog. You know?
Thankfully, the camera was not panned down. That would have been very, very
Jeez.
bad. Thank God it was, the angle that it was at. No one wants to see.
Okay. Oh,
Anyway.
so it doesn't
All right.
it doesn't show anything because I haven't seen it and
Oh
I don't
no,
want
no.
to see
It's
it.
it's actually like from the neck up, and it's kind of just like me tilting my head back and looking
Yeah,
like an
yeah,
asshole.
okay,
That's
so
It's just the
My
sweet
O
relief.
face. It's just my O
hey
face.
man,
That's it.
there's been worse videos of prominent YouTubers with their heels above their heads, and it's been worse.
But I'm the
Wow.
one. That's sadly that's the association a lot of people will always have with me. Is that's how I became known on the internet in 2016. And,
All right,
How
all
am I ever going to live that down? If anything, here's what I learned from it. That's going to always, no matter what these idiots say about me, that's always going to be my most embarrassing moment.
All right, you know what? Hold on, I'm going to give you some advice. All right, I want to give you some advice right now. You need to own it, and you need to have a box of tissues behind you
And a t-shirt.
as a fucking
Like-
joke, dude. Troll
Yeah.
them back.
Here's
Fuck
the
it.
thing. Here, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying. However,
Yeah.
again, you have to understand something. We're joking about it. It's funny to joke about it and own it, but actually, it's representative of a really bad time in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
Okay, that
depressing-
makes sense. Yeah, sure,
It's a
sure.
depressing thing. My wife doesn't ever want to talk about it. You know, she knew. I
Hey.
mean, think about this. She met me after, and
Get
she
it?
still likes me. She married me
Yeah.
after that. So obviously, she's moved past. She doesn't want to talk about it. It's like, why am I going to monetize the most embarrassing moment?
Phil,
You know.
beat. Damn it, that would have sounded so bad.
Yes.
I was gonna say beat your demons, but in this context,
Pretty good. Pretty
it's
good.
like shit. I mean, conquer your demons. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like that. You're like, I don't want to like go there, but it's like, no, fuck that.
All right.
Like face it and conquer your demons. I didn't mean to make that pun. That was unintentional, but it was so good. But you know what I'm saying, right? I'm trying to like. You
Yes.
say you don't want to go there, but like
Right.
conquer
You're not the only
it,
person
dude.
who said
Own
that.
it.
You're
Own
definitely
it.
not the
Own that
only
shit.
person. The problem is, again, when you focus on a focal point like that and it becomes your end all be all, I don't want that to be what I'm remembered for. It probably will be, but I want people who come to my content every day to remember that awesome stream they had or that cool game playthrough that we did. I don't want them to think about the guy who had an old face beat off on stream. Like, it's so stupid. And it's such a dumb thing that I've moved past. I'm not in that part of my life anymore. I'm so much happier now that I don't need to dwell on the past anymore. I don't need to think about that moment. It was stupid. And yeah, I
Well, I'll
don't
say
want
this,
to be
if-
there forever.
If you're not going to monetize it, we will. Later tonight, the Beat Your Demons t-shirt will be available all on the store.
Oh my god! And it's no, that's terrible,
I'm
dude.
totally good. I just thought it was really funny. All right.
Oh my goodness.
So there's a few things that I want to circle back with you on, Phil. Phil, you still there? You look like you're frozen.
Did we lose him?
I hope not. Oh, well, if he drops, well, he can come back in. Yeah, he does look frozen and such. But
I was just kidding. I
Of
mean,
course.
I couldn't help the puns. They wrote themselves.
Phil, make sure you pop back in. I'm sure that he will. I doubt that he quit because he would have been dropped from the thing. It's definitely an internet issue of some court.
Must
So
be frozen.
I do not think that he rage quit or anything like that. So Phil, you can just pop back in whenever you're ready, and we'll keep going. But there are a few things that I want to circle back on, mainly on the 5K. Okay, let's see, he dropped, so he'll pop back in. I do want to circle back on the business expense because I feel like Phil kind of skirted that question a little bit. No, we didn't really get, the idea of. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's if we can have a little 1-to-1 here, I feel like there's just so much here that doesn't add up.
Man, I mean, I don't believe him. I mean, I don't. There's just too many things. I mean, I caught him live, and then he admitted like a minute later that I was right, and it's just like, man, that your whole credibility was already shaky, and
Right.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying this now because he's not here. I mean, you guys, I've been very blunt to his face. I'm not gonna like, if he hears me, it's not like I mean, I straight up told him I didn't believe him about that joke that he made, and it's just like, dude, that's such bullshit, So,
Well, while we have a second, hopefully Phil's going to rejoin us. I did want to thank everybody for your super chats today, and I see a lot of people buying merchandise, and it's genuinely greatly appreciated. Appreciate everybody allowing us to have this conversation. I appreciate Phil allowing us to have this conversation with him.
Honestly, I got to give him props, dude.
Yes,
because it's not easy to fucking do what he just did. I wasn't being easy on him, and I wasn't going to, because I said earlier, I'm an honest asshole, dude. Like if I don't know you and I'm like, and there's shit, and it's a serious situation, like I'll get serious. Like,
yeah,
this is the most serious show we've ever had on this channel, right? We're constantly laughing. And like, when you said you were going to bring him on, you read his email that he said you could read publicly, and it seemed like he just wanted to be joining and doing a regular show, and it kind of evolved through the weeks of, it's going to be an interview, and now we've done this interview today, and I mean, it was tough.
Right. Well, I'll say this. Phil just emailed me and he said, hey, I'm still here. I might be getting DDoS. Not sure. So I will say this. Look, we do have. So while we have a second and Phil's not with us, I'm actually going to invite somebody to the chat right now. Keemstar is going to join us to give his side of the thing. And when Phil hops in,
oh my God.
We'll see. Like I said, I don't want to make this weird for Phil, but I do think that while we have a second, we'll bring Keemstar in. Keemstar has the link, and he should be joining us any minute.
Oh my God, this is.
I will say this. I will say this, guys. I appreciate everybody staying with us. And while we have you for a second, I want to remind you guys we do have some other guests coming up, including Mark the Cyborg and James Rolfe, the Angry Video Gamer. They're coming up here in the next few weeks. If you guys are new, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, of course, and come join us. We are a daily podcast Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock Central Time, and we're usually pretty fun. We have a great time. And if you guys really like it, you guys can head over to patreon.com/sidescrollers and support us over there. But joining us now,
I gotta say, I really didn't mean to make that pun beat your demons. It was just so funny.
Great,
I couldn't stop laughing, and I jeez.
All right. Keemstar is joining us. Hello, Keemstar. How are you? Nice to meet you.
Good. It's nice to meet you. You guys have absolutely crushed this. I think you've done more than a fair job with Phil here, and especially like how difficult he is. But with him talking about the $50,000 offer and the Lol Call podcast, I just really wanted to get on to say my piece, because he's just dishonest. And I think you guys experienced this, right? He had an opportunity to clear his name so easily, and he just put it off and made excuse, and then goes on to bring up some other situation with hookers and some other lies. And it's like, every content creator has been lied about, right? But in this one issue where he could just prove his innocence so quick and he doesn't take advantage of it, then it's like, and
I told him it's just making you more sus. Like that, it's making me trust your story less. That you're not like, you know what? I want to fucking prove this shit. Like, I'm sick of these lies. Let's prove it,
Well, I'll say this. Look, Keem, we appreciate you hopping on. Phil has rejoined us. Phil said he didn't want to be on the show if you were on it. So I'll tell you, can we invite you back on after we're done with Phil?
Sure. Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. I appreciate it. Okay. We're going to bring Phil back on. We don't want to make things weird. So appreciate you understanding, man. And you have the link. I'll DM you when we're ready. Okay, buddy?
Sounds good.
Thank you, Keem. Appreciate it, man. All right. Boof. All right. Phil, welcome back, man. Sorry, we had a second. He had reached out and he wanted to share his side of it. So we appreciate you running with it, man. So let's continue. Everything okay?
I don't know. I have absolutely no idea what just happened. My whole internet went down and came back up, and I don't know if it was my ISP or if I've just been DDoSed. I would not put it past them to DDoS me at this point. I've never, to my knowledge, my IP address has never leaked, this one. But if it happens again, I guess we kind of know, right?
Well, I hope that's not the case.
I hope not either, because that's a lot of work for me. I have to call my cable company then to get it fixed. It's not pretty.
All right. Let's circle back on some stuff here, man. And
did I miss anything? Did I miss anything?
Yeah, there's a few things that I feel like we kind of went through, and I feel like we do need to kind of address. And I want to circle back to like the business expenses, because we talked about the 5K, we talked about that. but we didn't really get an answer, right? Like,
Mhm.
and this kind of all ties in together. The idea of like, as somebody who works online, I've been doing this for a long time as well. I understand that spending $5K on anything is a lot, and the idea of a mortgage being a business expense, that's not necessarily true. You can from a
Again, I
tax
don't know.
perspective, you can allow me to tell you, because from a tax perspective, you can take the square footage of your office space in your house, and that can be deductible, right? And you can use that as a business expense. You can take the internet and do those things, but your entire house, your entire mortgage is not something that can be a business expense, right? So
I didn't think that was legal. I don't think that's legal.
Right, it's not. It's not the way it goes. But with all that said, I feel like there's with everything lined up, right? There's still a lot. Like, are you spending that money on food, or what are you spending that money on it? Because you can pay for meals out and things like that, as long as you technically talk about business. And I've done that hundreds of times, where you go out to a meal and you say, well, we're gonna have a business meeting, and it's just you and your wife talking about whatever, right? It's just one of those things. But walk me through once again, like what are your month-to-month business expenses? What are you paying for as a streamer who works 12 hours a day? Kind of walk me through this.
Well, again, I could tell you what I'm doing now. I mean, we're talking, what people are referencing is something from like 2019, I think, right? Is that a tax return from my bankruptcy proceeding?
But I want to know about today. I want to know about today, like your expenses that you have on a month-to-month basis. What do those look like? Are your expenses?
You know what? How about this? Give me 1 second.
Sure, do your thing. Yeah,
Watch this.
this should be fun. All right, Phil is off, and it looks like, I wonder what this could be a surprise. We'll see what happens.
I'm an old man. Okay?
Yes.
I do something that no one else does. I use paper and I write on it to track things. No one else does this, right?
Now hold on, Phil. Before you show anything, I want to.
Oh, I'm not going to show. I'm going to read.
Okay.
I'm going to read some things. Don't worry. I'm not going to show anything. I'm going to read some things. What I'd like to do is kind of go through here, because people say every day, where does your money go? Essentially that's what you're asking, right? Where does the money go that's coming in? I will 100. You guys are chopping. Tell me.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
Here we go. I'm going to go through this. I'm not exaggerating. Line for line, this is what I'm paying this month. And this is where all my money goes, plus a few other things. Okay? And this is literally all of it.
Great.
I have a subscription to Hulu. It's $10 a month.
Business expense. Okay.
Definitely not a business expense. I'm just saying, this is where my money goes. This is everything. I'm serious. I'm going to cover it all.
Okay, sure.
I have my internet. I have 2 internet lines that I pay for. They're very expensive because they're unlimited internet. It's it's not an hourly. It's like you have to pay a ton of money.
Hourly? Who pays for hourly internet?
No, not hourly. I said unlimited.
Oh, I thought you said that. Okay, you go ahead.
I'm sorry. I meant to say data rates, not hourly. My
Got
bad.
it.
Data rates. You know how much you use.
Okay.
I have my dues here where I live. I live in a community, a condo facility community. So it's the dues, monthly dues.
Mm-hmm.
I've got. Let's see here.
I mean,
Game Pass.
But you're reading off personal expenses, and that's no one's business.
Right.
I'm reading off everything. I don't care. I'm reading off everything so you know where my money goes. Because this is what they want. They want to know where all my money goes. I'm going to tell you right now.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think it was about the $5,000, the business expenses, that they were like, what is going on with this? Like, how is this the case? So you're now giving them more shit when you were seemingly very nervous about giving anyone any more information that isn't public. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to, before you continue, it just seems like this is counterintuitive for where you have said your stance is on like revealing public information. So like,
well, I'm not going to tell you any account name. I'm not going to tell
yeah,
you
no, I
businesses or
understand.
anything.
Yeah,
You know
I
what
get
I'm saying?
that, but still, it's still personal stuff that it's like, all right, well, I don't understand that's not what the subject was about. It was about the business expenses.
Right.
These aren't business expenses that you're reading off. This is personal stuff.
Some of this would be considered business and some wouldn't. Like I was just going to say, Game Pass.
But what's the point? Is kind of where I'm leaning. Like, what is the reason for giving us your personal expenses?
Because people want to know where my money goes. You're asking me
your business, the business expense money. That's what they're talking about. That's what I've seen on the internet. That's what I've seen that people are upset. There's the business expenses, the 5,000, and then like I don't know where this like $500,000 thing is or what that even is. But there's some questions.
$500,000.
Yeah, I don't know. I heard I've seen. I didn't look into that much because I have multiple shows that I do, and I couldn't dedicate too much to learning about you. So I figured I'd come and just hear from you. But like that's from what I've seen. It's the business expenses that's what people want to know about. Like how are you spending that much money on the business?
Here's the thing: if you were to nickel and dime every single transaction I do, when it comes to like video games and stuff like that, I don't think it gets close to that. I think I don't know how it was divvied out in those, in that report or whatever they used for the bankruptcy. I don't know how it's calculated. I'm not my bankruptcy attorney. I'm not my CPA. I know it's done right because I went through it with the bankruptcy judge line by line. So
is that where that
Mm-hmm.
Large number comes from? Is the bankruptcy number like how much debt you had?
Oh,
I'm trying to take a. Oh, I mean, you right? I mean, if that's what
I don't know the total number of debt.
Seems like a pretty big moment in your life that you would know.
I know. I never. It's not a milestone. Oh man, I'm so happy I got $500,000 off my back.
I'm not saying it's a good milestone.
No, it's a horrible milestone. Something I want to move past and forget and get put in the past. But I don't know. Maybe that's what that number is. But again, I don't know. I can't go line item by line item. I don't know. It's from years and years ago. And guys, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
you
good.
froze again.
You're good.
Jeez.
You're good.
It's
You're good.
freezing.
You're good.
Yeah, okay.
Well, they call me Mr.
That's me.
Freeze, so.
Okay. But yeah, like I can't, I don't have that. I don't know. I would assume, this is my assuming, that data includes anything that's considered associated with the business or not. I don't know. Again, I can, without going through it, because I'm not going to go through all of it anyway. That would be exposure to talk about all that stuff, I feel. Okay. A couple things that no one knows. I guess I have to. I didn't want to do this. I really don't want to do this, but again,
Phil, you do what you're comfortable with, man. I think that's the biggest thing. Is
I really
you
don't want to.
like.
Let me go put the paper away. I'm going to tell you. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
All right. I don't want to talk about shit, but I have to. It sucks.
Well,
No, you
That
don't.
position, man.
You said like 30 minutes ago you don't give a shit, and it doesn't make a difference. So pick a point. Pick a place to stand.
Yeah, I know. I don't.
Either you don't give a shit and you're gonna move on and let the haters hate you no matter what because there's nothing you could do, or try to appease them. It's not. You can't be somewhere in the middle where you're like, I might appease you. I might actually do this. I'll think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like,
Adam, I don't care
one
about
or the
that.
other.
I care about you guys. I care
So you're
about my viewers. I care about
Right.
these neutral parties out there who've heard so much nasty stuff about me. At least have a place to listen and hear my side. That's what this is. And I appreciate you guys so much for giving me this time. I really do. I'm sorry I'm getting emotional now thinking, but, all right, I'm just going to, fuck this. I'm going to do it. All right. I'm going to tell you a few things that no one knows without specifics. Okay. So it doesn't really put anyone under the bus or anything. I've been involved in a few different, legal things over the years. I've been involved with medical issues, my own health and my wife's. All right. And it's not stuff I should talk about with my audience. I don't want my audience to come to my stream and be like, I want to give you a tip because I found out that you have maybe a medical issue or something going on. That's no one's business. I've said to let me explain. I said to my audience, if you're going to come to a DSP gaming or a DSP React stream, please come support me because you like me and my content. Okay? Don't come support me because you want to stick it to the haters. I don't want that pity party. Keep that, let them celebrate whatever. Come and just support me for my content. If I tell you stuff that's going on that are expenses, medical expenses, legal expenses, and it's again, I'm not going to tell you, I have some medical conditions. Okay.
Well, then this is your forum. Like this is your forum, Phil, right? If there's some sort of like medical condition that is causing you to live, paycheck to paycheck or stream to stream, you pride yourself on transparency. I can't think of anything more transparent than just telling your audience you have something going on. And like, you know what, people are people and they'll understand that. Like if God willing I came out and I had cancer or something bad happened, I would.
It's not that. It's definitely not that. Okay, I don't want to make anyone think that I'm trying to. Again, this is not a pity party here.
Right.
It's not that. It's that I have a few chronic lingering things that come back over the years, and then yes, there's a medical cost. There's deductible, of course. You have to pay to a certain amount. In a nutshell, I've been involved with a few legal things, and I've been involved with some medical things. Okay. And essentially what's happened over the years is I can't really pay them because of the financial situations that I've been in. Okay. And
did you pay any of those? Did you pay any of those things as business expenses?
Again, I believe, and I don't know if this is true or not. Isn't it true that certain, like your health insurance premiums and stuff is covered or is a tax deductible? I don't know. Again, I get asked this by my tax guy. I do. He says,
your tax guy was asking you this?
He said, I just got an email the other day that said, we need your breakdown of what you paid for premiums, if you had any medical expenses, if you had any of this, we need all this to file your taxes properly.
That doesn't sound right, dude.
I don't know. Again, no, listen, please. Here's the problem. I don't want people going over my tax guy. You know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. He's a professional.
But he clearly doesn't, because you've been in tax
it
issues.
Sound like it.
No. My tax issues are not, or from before this shit. They really are. I used to have tax issues with an old account. You might be getting the stories mixed. I used to have an old guy who fucked everything up. This person I have now has fixed everything. Okay. I'm not throwing anyone under the bus. This guy is great, and I want people to understand that. Okay. But basically, okay, I have a few ongoing things. When you don't have credit anymore, okay, but you still owe. Some things can get erased. Some things can't. All right, by a bankruptcy or whatever. And I'm in a situation where I have ongoing costs that I'm on payment plans for. Okay? Not, credit card. I can't get a credit card. I have no credit. My credit sucks because I have bankruptcy. No, I have payment plans. So, for example, I incur a legal cost of several $1,000s. Okay, Phil, you don't have to pay that today. You could pay it slowly over time. Here's your payment plan. All right? With the IRS, I owe them back taxes. Phil, we understand. As long as you're in repayment status, you're paying this amount every month. This is, you know what I mean? So that's where my money goes. I'm embroiled in all these ongoing things behind the scenes that absolutely no one needs to know about. Medical stuff, legal stuff that I'm going through, and tax stuff. And where does your money go? And then just think about this. I'm streaming 6 days a week full time. I'm stressed some days, you know? And then I got to come on my stream and hear you blew all your money on mobile games. My wife and me are feeling so much stress with this going on. And, you know, we didn't go on a honeymoon when we got married. We haven't been on a trip since 2019. We haven't done anything.
Phil, I get it. We understand, which is why, you know, we talked about therapy. We've talked about all these things. We understand, right? We've talked about all these things.
Go. I got the drip going. 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 It's like a faucet that's dripping. You can't make it stop. So what do you want me to do? Have a mute button that every second I'm tapping the mute button just in case I'm gonna have to clear? Like, this is what I mean. These dumb kids. This is what it is. It's dumb kids.